With Craig Button. Craig, the Oilers already 9 points behind the Avalanche for top spot in the West. Is Edmonton that far behind the best team, or is the actual gap closer than the numbers would suggest?
The actual gap isn't closer. The actual gap might be greater than the 9 points, because the Edmonton Oilers have won at least 2 games, and I can make a case for 3 this year that they shouldn't have won, but because of the greatness of Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, they dragged them to the full 2 points. So when you take that into consideration and you look at what I see as a mediocre team, there's some areas where you go, they can be better, specifically in their blue line group and the way they play. They're much better than they played. But overall, I see a mediocre team, and I think the fact that they have as many points as they have right now is illusionary. And I think that McDavid and Draisaitl have been able, superheroes on the ice for the Edmonton Oilers, have helped them get to this point. They're further from the Colorado Avalanche than the numbers indicate.
Okay, speaking of the Avs, last year the Avs decided they'd had enough of their goaltending problems and traded for not 1 but 2 new goalies mid-season. Should the Oilers learn from the Avs' approach of just ripping off the Band-Aid and making wholesale changes in net if they can?
Well, you know, we use that term, rip off the Band-Aid and whatnot. I think the first thing you have to do is acknowledge that you have an issue and you try to work to resolve it. And I think NHL teams do that. Here's where I think the challenge becomes, is when they start convincing themselves how hard it is. Yeah, it's hard. It's a hard job to try to look for players that can come into your group that can reinforce it and strengthen the team. And that is the essence of the job of the GM. But when you start to, oh, it's hard, and we hear it, oh, it's hard to make a trade, it's hard to do this, salary cap system. Well, let me tell you, Chris MacFarland not only get 1 goaltender, he got 2 goaltenders. And it requires being focused. It requires also being bold and saying, this is what we got to do. Because when you talk about ripping off the Band-Aid, it's league average goaltending at best in Edmonton. League average best. And when it gets to league average best, because it's below that now, it's almost, oh, look how we're back to league average. League average goaltending gets you nowhere. And if the Edmonton Oilers want to continue to sit down and watch something that is an obvious problem, well, they're going to continue to have the same types of results with their goaltending.
And Colorado may continue to run away with things. The Avs, with only 1 regulation loss in their first 17 games of the season, that, of course, best in the league. Every other team has at least 4.